Hey guys, what's going on? What's going on? What is going on? It's a boy, the Universal Entity, and welcome, my fellow entities, to the channel. If it's the first time, please subscribe. Again, like or dislike the video if you want, share, and of course, comment if you wish. As time goes on, the equipment I'll be using for the channel will get better and better and better. But for now, this is unfortunately what we're gonna have to deal with. I like to call this humble beginning, guys. So if you guys are wondering why is it I posted stuff that say I'll be uploading once a month, and this is, I guess, gonna be the fourth video of July, and there also weren't any videos in June, it's because I didn't get any chance to post any stuff in June, even though I did edit the videos. So I've kind of been doing like this thing since I'm on summer holiday, guys. You know, I'm going to university, etc., and I'm on holidays right now. I decided that up until at least September, I'll be posting 2 to 3 videos a month. But like I said, because I didn't get a chance to do any for last month, I am posting 4 videos. So 2 videos. The first 2 were meant for last month, and this and the video before this would have been for this month, right? So yeah, it is what it is, though. But yeah, let's get into it, right? You guys don't want to hear what I have to say. You guys want to hear what the YouTubers I'm about to react to have to say. Now, the channel I'll be reacting today is called Abba Preach, and it's a very well-known YouTube channel, and they talk about a lot of stuff ranging from like red pill, like topics and philosophies, to dating. I don't know, like the whole 9 yards, even beyond red pill, blue pill, black pill. You know, it goes beyond that. You know, like I said, I kind of want to like diversify myself in other things, but I will have to say that in the earlier stages, these are mostly the type of videos I'll be reacting to. But there will come other like educational and religious videos I have, just like how I react to like the history of like I believe it was like where the Jamaican Creole came from, right? Like how it was like formed over the years. So there will be other things like that to look forward to, but yeah, stuff like this is primarily what I will be reacting to. Now, as regards to the title of the video, right? The title of the video is Malcolm. Well, sorry, I don't know what happened right there. The title of the video is Martin Luther King wasn't a great man because he cheated. And I have to say that looking at how things are right now, I kind of do get what I guess these ladies are trying to say, but I do have to agree with what the YouTubers themselves have to say, which is that yeah, it's kind of like some murky waters though. But yeah, let's get into it, right? Yeah.
What is more important, the perception of how we see a thing or what that thing really is? And I'm going to give you an example.
What the thing really is.
What's more important, the fact that Martin Luther King is the man that we see that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife?
Jesus. I think, ooh, oh no, move. He's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur.
He's such a boss.
He's such a boss.
He's a boss.
Look at that man. He's a boss.
Look at him.
He's a great father. Look at him, that strong black man. But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. You're not a good communicator. You don't value her feelings. But he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man, a great father, a great leader in any aspect? You're not a great husband. A great communicator, a great...
You're a liar.
You're not great.
You're a liar.
Not great.
You're a liar.
You're not great.
So that's my point.
You're not great.
So I posted this.
You're not great. God, you're not.
Are you great? Because we don't know if you're great at this point. We don't know.
That is triggering.
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father and you don't respect their mother? How are you a good father and you don't respect who brought them into this world?
Carried them.
Now let me just get this out of the way, right? So let me just make this loud and clear. I do believe it is possible for you to be a terrible husband, but at the same time, also be a great father. Being a great father means being a great father for the kids, not being a great father for you, the wife. You understand that? You notice what I said? The key word? The wife, which means you are the husband. A person can be an excellent husband. By the time the kids come into play, they're a terrible father. And that's why sometimes the wife ends up divorcing the father. Because they're like, listen, they may be your blood, but compared to how things were before we got together, you're obviously not great with this. So I'm just going to go around and probably find a stepdaddy or even try to raise his kids by myself. Right? As much as I don't like to say that, it happens a lot in life. And guys, can I tell you, it is possible. It is very much so possible. So that's not pretending like being horrible dad equals being a horrible husband, vice versa. They can be two different things. One can be good at other and horrible at the next. Such is life. And I do have to like how Aban preach, especially preach, right? The one with the dreads and so on. Attack the question like, are you a great person? Because at least so far by their definition, being great means you have to be damn near perfect, right? So being realistic with all things, that's not going to fly. That is not going to fly at all. Because yes, I personally do believe that just like how many persons throughout history have done a few horrible things here and there, but they've kind of made up for it with other things, that is possible for you to be a good man or even a great man, but just not an exceptional man, right? Like somebody like say Jesus Christ is like Christians and etc., or even the world. But yeah, I do believe it is possible. I don't understand why is it like one thing goes wrong and then it's like, yep, they no longer deserve the title that they have. Like seriously, I don't know. That's just me, guys. But let's move on with the video, right? Yeah.
You're not a great dad, my nigga.
If we take the example of Martin Luther King, okay, he's not great because he's cheating on his wife, and it's none of your business. That's between you and whatever. So that's one thing. The second thing is stop putting motherfuckers on the pedestal. Whether it be superstars, whether it be pastors, whether it be all these motherfuckers are human. All of these motherfuckers are human. It's not so much, yeah, they did some fucking shit that was wrong. Right. We have a responsibility of putting them on a pedestal. They just human beings that decided to do something different and then you like what they do. That's it.
If I'm a good person to you, I posted this it's on my post and I posted it on my stories before, but someone being a good person to you means they're a good person to you. Someone being a good person to everyone means that they're a good person.
In general.
And that's my point.
But you can't be a good person to everyone because everybody got two sides to it. There's three sides to a story. My side, your side, what happened. Okay? That's three sides. Now, you cannot be a good person to everybody because you're going to be entitled to your reason of you acting a certain way to some motherfuckers. I'm going to have a reason to think you're a bitch.
What is the consistency of your character? You cannot say that you are a good husband or you are a good wife, because let's make it gender neutral. This ain't about just this is a humanity conversation.
We're just talking broadly.
And there were times where I had to stand in my truth and be like, I wasn't a good wife. Going back to Martin Luther King, did we need to know that he was a cheater?
Jesus.
Would that have shifted the way we looked at him and received information from him?
I can't take these girls seriously. The irony of this whole thing, they're talking about, was he a good man? Was this black man a good man? And they're using the fact that he cheated against him is the exact same tactic that the FBI used to try to discredit Martin Luther King at that time. It says a lot that you use the exact same lingo that the feds used to try to discredit his message during the civil rights movement. You have, in a way, taken up the very role that the oppressive FBI used against Martin Luther King.
Congratulations.
You played yourself. I mean, the mere fact that you can get on this podcast and have the ability to pontificate and all say all this stupid shit is very likely due to people like Martin Luther King who fought for your right to do so. If that doesn't make him great alone, I don't know what is. Because you wouldn't even be up here to say all this dumb shit about how potentially not great he is. He cheated. He's such a bad person.
Whew, a lot to unpack there, right? First of all, I want to note that even she herself said that she has acknowledged that from a female point of view that she is not necessarily the best at being like, I guess, like a mother figure or like a wife, right? And I'm like, so you're admitting that you're not great yourself, right? Which I guess is like a humble thing to do. But then again, Abraham Preach make a good point. What's the point in saying that he was a cheater, right? When the FBI also uses against him to like discourage people and say, listen, don't listen to his message because guess what? He's cheating. And let me tell you this from now. Between men and women, I can bet you that it discouraged a lot of females or a lot more females from joining his like campaign or being a part of his movement because they're like, yo, I cannot be a part of this movement even though he's speaking the truth just because he cheats, right? Because that's kind of like the great thing about this. Is that actually he's like a hypocrite in the sense that like what he's preaching isn't matching what he's doing. It's not like a gay man saying like, listen, don't be homosexual or anything like that because it's the wrong thing to do in the eyes of God and all this type of stuff. It's not like that. He's literally saying, listen, we as black people just want this, that, etc. But just because he cheats, and I guess they have claimed also that he has cheated with a white woman on his wife. They're like, yeah. Well, I can understand that back in those times, it would have been something that's like, like could make people like kind of lose faith in you as an individual because especially like it's a white woman. But cheating in general, I'm like, if you have accomplished all the other stuff, yes, acknowledge that he's cheated, but don't discount the words of the wise man. I like to always say that, right? If you have a guy and you claim he's wise, but he has his one or two dirty habits or bad habits, but the words he speak are wise, so that even probably you yourself don't have to follow in his wrong footsteps. Take the words of the wise man in more so than the wise man himself. Okay? Let's stop pretending that all he has ever done has been negated just because of this one or two events in his entire life. Even if what he speaks is the truth. Could you imagine if somebody gets up and says, listen, the world's ending, we gotta do this, gotta do that. No, we're not gonna follow you because you're a cheater. I'm like, huh? But is it going to save our lives? Yeah. No, still not gonna follow you because you're a cheater. Doesn't make one flipping sense. And let me tell you something. This is something I've learned, especially from a lot of the Red Pill channels and the Red Pill community, is that the moment a female realizes that the guy has cheated sexually on another female, they're like, this man is forever dead to them, this and that. Not all or most times, but I've noticed it a lot of times. It's like, it just does something to them to say, boy, everything you've ever done good in your life has now been negated because of this one action. And you know the first thing about it, even though it's morally wrong, especially from like a religious point of view, it's like, especially from us men, most of the time, it's not this like really spiritual thing that a lot of females make it out to be. It's not this like real personal thing. You get me? I said, you guys get what I'm saying? Whew. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but the thoughts that they're trying to bring out into this world, try and create like this thing, like, yeah, like, no. He helped get you as black people, as African Americans, where you are today. Let's stop pretending like that one event negates everything he's ever done. Stop it. Let's just stop it, alright?
So how does the wife feel? She's fine with it. So then shut your fucking mouth. It's not your relationship. She's come out and said, I ain't got an issue with it. Our bond was special. No problems. It's not your place. Me listening to this stuff. The way people talk about cheating, you would think it's fucking murder. Oh, this man freed 1 billion slaves. Stopped the aliens from taking over the world. He cheated on his wife. What a fucking loser. What a fucking loser. Did he not consider her feelings while he was out there slaving all those little dark people? Huh?
Say that again.
Didn't he consider all her feelings?
No.
What a fucking loser. What a fucking loser. She's hurting at home right now.
What about
in her titties. She's hurting.
what about her what?
Huh?
What about her
Her
what?
fucking feelings.
What feelings?
Fucking feelings. What?
Look at his face.
No,
I'm
you your
sorry.
fucking feelings.
What's wrong with your
I don't,
face?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish historians would
What's
just get
wrong?
together
What's wrong with your
and
face?
consider the legacy of every historical figure and be like, well, we understand that he had advanced England into the New Age, but he cheated on his wife.
I mean, yeah, it's okay. They take it personal. I can understand someone taking it personal.
I
It is
think
what it
I
is.
think a lot of folks have to
Hold
come
on,
to.
hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Maya Angelou.
I'm not even gonna do it. Go
Am
ahead.
I? What was Maya Angelou doing before she was writing books?
Tricking?
Fuck her then. No, what a disgrace. No. She's not who we think she is.
Every quote.
Oh, hell no. Every great quote that helped me advance or great books, throw that shit in the trash.
Listen, before anybody is quote unquote great, they're human. They're capable of good, they're capable of bad. People knew that about Martin Luther King. The reason why they fixate on the good is because it overwhelmingly was much more important than the bad. We all do this in our day-to-day lives. We look at the good and the bad, but the way that you're having this conversation, it's almost like you're putting the two things on an equal level. He was a great leader, he also cheated. Now, does not put him, what? Who cares? Jesus Christ, like every great person that you can think of has a huge character flaw. They got anger issues. Some of them were violent for long periods of time. You know, some of them have alcohol, substance abuse issues. They got past criminal records. Like, it's very rare that you meet somebody who's great and then is squeaky clean. And if they are, they got some deep ass skeletons in their closet. We all got problems. And if we're honest enough, when we're looking at anybody on these platforms or these people making these speeches, if we looked at them long enough, we would stop trying to demand that they try to be perfect, because they're not. Who cares?
Unless they say
If you can contribute more than you take away from civilization, that is fantastic. Maybe you're not the best father. Maybe you're not the best husband. Okay, you out there saving people every day, guess what? You're a net benefit to society. Maybe not to one or two people, right? To those that, okay, and whatever, have your issues. It doesn't define you entirely. But for you to sit there and be like, well, he cheated, so fuck, this is complicated. That's it. One thing. By that logic, you, ma'am, are a shitty ass wife. Because at one point in your life, you were a bad wife, according to your own words.
so you shitty.
So because MLK did some mistakes in his marriage, well, should we quit? What are we talking about?
Got you.
And
Got
allowed
you.
him to lead
Got
us.
you.
Yes, I also want to like kind of touch on those two things, right? So I want to also acknowledge first thing, right, that the wife was quite literally okay with it. Again, we're not saying it's morally correct, but again, when you and let's say like you have like a husband and wife situation, right? The husband has to accept a few things from the wife and vice versa. You cannot ask for a near perfect human being that doesn't cheat, honest, good communication, looks good, has all the money, is very tall, protective, can fight, can fix this, has a very nice job, has a master's or doctorate in like two different things. You can't say like that. The list, eventually you're going to have to compromise somewhere, right? And she just realized that, cheating was the one thing or the greatest thing about him, that he's going to have to compromise. Like, I can have all the money, I can have all the kids and all the stuff, but I won't have all the sex to myself, at least from him. Right? And she accepted it. Again, we're not saying it's good or we're going to tolerate it, but that's what she accepted. And I'm sure he accepted some things from her as well. Maybe not in the beginning, maybe not in the middle, but somewhere compromises were made, even on her end and his end, again, vice versa. Now, the second thing I wanted to say, and this is kind of like more of a personal thing for me, but this is many people don't know this, right? About myself, even my friends and acquaintances. But I don't really have like a favorite artist or necessarily like a favorite athlete and all this stuff, because I don't really like putting people on a pedestal. I'll admit that they're the fastest. I'll admit that maybe they have one of the best personalities for like the Jamaican team. Trinidad and Tobago, etc., the US, wherever, right? The Weekend, you know, all these artists, athletes, you know, singers, songwriters, whatever they are in the world, is famous actors, celebrities, whatever they are to the world, right? And they bring a lot of meaning to the world and maybe to others. But no matter how much I listen to their music and etc., they may even end up in my top 10 or top 3 favorite artists or albums, but they will never be a definitive number one, because I do not like, guys, I can't even have a favorite movie. And it's not, and it's like, it's so hard to just look at everything else in the world. It's like, this is the one thing I'm going to put up on a pedestal. I understand putting up multiple things on a pedestal, but this one will stand above the rest. You get what I'm saying, guys? Like, to me, there isn't really like a measurable way of doing that 9 times out of 10. So when even it comes down to like food, I'll be like, I like this and this more so than all these other things. But within the favorite list itself, I can't pick a number one. So I don't know if that's just like a me problem though, but it is what it is. You get me? So yeah.
Would we trust a man that cheats on his wife?
Got you.
Yes, you have trusted men who've cheated on their wives. Listen, your daddy probably cheated on his wife. There's plenty of people out there who cheated that you probably never even knew, and you followed their direction. Everything went well. It's not because you have infidelity at home that's inherently mean you're a bad person everywhere else.
Not that we don't know that he is. I think everybody kind of knew in that time what was going on.
But even like what you said, we talked about this previously with a deeper discussion, what you said about Coretta. You were like, even how she covered him and honored her husband. She covered him. She covered him and honored her husband, because I'm not...
She could have blasted him. If Coretta was in 2020, what would have happened? Or 2022?
It doesn't matter. She wasn't, and that's none of your business. And she's okay with it. So move on.
Now she's saying, like, I know how you would have acted if it was today. You don't know shit.
You don't know shit about
There's
shit.
people today who
know.
have husbands who are out there with other women and they have an understanding.
You don't know shit about fuck, so.
Let me tell you something. Vast majority of presidents have affairs. But what you think? You think these people who live in Washington are all faithful to their wives? Do you see their wives putting them on blast? No? Why? Because they have an understanding.
Ain't the Clintons still together? Guess what? Guess what? It's none of my business.
Nobody cares. I think a lot of people have like a juvenile understanding of older generations, relationship dynamics and stuff like that. I don't know. To me, when I hear this stuff talk about, he hurt her feelings. It's like, Jesus Christ, grow the fuck up. Grow up. The world doesn't just revolve around everything that you feel. It's not always about your hurt or your pain. Some people, when they get into a marriage, they aspire to other things. Just in like, I was like, oh, I'm hurt. I feel there's bigger things for some folks. Maybe it's not for you, and that's okay. But for you to put that paradigm on everybody, like, there's nobody who could. People live like that every single day all over the globe.
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
I'm not committed to you. I'm committed to the purpose.
I'm committed to my position in this purpose.
In this purpose.
Yeah, guys, and again, these guys are so amazing. That's one of the reasons why every time they come with a video, I watch it within like the first at least 12 hours, right? Because they're just that good. But yeah, another 2 things to point out. First of all, I think a lot of people like should really just mind their own business. I understand when something goes out in the world that you're like, yo, really, that happened? Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, realistically, I mean, let's get real. Like, there are so many like people across the earth that know about Martin Luther King and his so-called dream, but how many of them know about him being a cheater and stuff? You get what I'm saying? The fact that if you went around in my country, our countries across the world, even beyond like the Western Hemisphere, and you ask them about this man, and they're like, yeah, I remember, like he said, he had a dream for the African American people, for even all people across America, and it's like that prevails so much over all this cheating, all this type of stuff, right? So it's like, yeah, people just really need to kind of just to some extent mind their own business and be like, listen, the past is the past. And that brings me to another point that they made. They're like, listen, there are certain things that happened back in the day that are like, listen, if it was translated in today, it wouldn't work, but it worked for back then because there was a mutual understanding of like different communities and the time it was. Kind of like music. I think they even made a video about like how different music and like comedians and so are representative of like the time they're in. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just watch a movie and you're like, you know, this movie's actually good, but it just wasn't really made for this time. Like it felt like it really hit 10, 20 years, 15 years after it was made. Like it was just ahead of its time. Like you ever hear those type of sayings? And so I believe it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, listen, if you're really just gonna discount everything just because you cheated, then you obviously don't understand what it was like back then. Like back then, cheating was like the least of your problems as a wife. You get what I'm saying? Like it was more socially acceptable depending on how successful your husband. There are like multiple shows of like things back in like the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s about how like, you know, it was again not morally okay but more socially acceptable even within the Western Hemisphere back in those days, especially in North America. So yeah, again, it is what it is.
But am I committed to you or am I committed to our purpose? She was committed to the purpose.
That's none of your business. That's none of your business. Maybe she was committed to him. You don't know. You don't know because now you're not thinking like her. You're thinking like you in that, like what you think you would have done in that situation. First and foremost, you are not in that situation. You will never be in that situation because that time has passed. That time has passed. That time has passed. It happened when you was not even born, and it was a different situation. You don't know how you would have reacted. Oh, me? No, you don't know. Stop. Ain't nobody give a fuck.
Ain't it weird to like look at shit from the 1920s, 1930s, and be like, let me judge it with today's state?
Yeah, you can't. Stop. Stop. That's very delusional what you're doing right now. But. Do you, boo boo? Do you? You don't know what you would have done.
40 years from now, I'm okay. Like, how did he feel about trans folks?
It's like, yeah, you can't stop.
Was he really a great person? What kind of pronouns was he comfortable using when it comes to other people?
Stop. That's asinine. That's just stupid shit. That's not even a point. Tu penses t'as dit quelque chose?
Malcolm X only believes in the gender binary.
Tu comprends? You think you said something? You didn't say shit. You didn't say shit. You didn't say shit.
That's wild, bro.
It ain't your business, but whatever.
It's interesting. I think the phenomenon exists because when you're hearing about an issue of the past, even though it's happening in the past, you don't understand it in that context. You're always living in your own. Yeah. You're living it as if it's now.
Yeah.
That's why, like, even if you said the N-word 40 years ago, right? Even though you may never said it since, if a video surfaces now, everyone loses their mind right
10
now.
10 years ago was not even the same context as right now. 10 years ago.
Bro.
5 years ago was not the same context as now.
Yeah.
This is 5. Yeah. So you want to take Martin? I'll go drink some water. I need some water.
Crazy. Anyway, let us know what you guys think of the
Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. Like I said guys, great points yet again that these guys, I just love these guys. I just love watching them and so on, right? Great YouTubers and so on. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's like the end of the video and so on though. But again, great points. Sometimes you have to just look at things of the context of like their time versus now. They made a great point at the end. Like if something surfaced right now from like 40, 50 years ago, it's gonna have different context right now, but then people of that time are gonna be like, you know, for that time wasn't necessarily bad, but it is bad that, like, you know, it's coming out right now, which I guess is why sometimes I guess these celebs rather have something come out right now than back then, because they're gonna be like, oh, what, you get what I'm saying? Because like, I'm pretty sure people like Martin Luther King weren't even thinking along the lines of like gender neutral and the trans people and all that. They weren't thinking along those lines. You get what I'm saying? But again, it is what it is. We have to just accept it and just move on and be the bigger person and say it is what it is. But again, guys, my fellow entities, I'm signing out right now. Hope you guys have a lovely day, week, month, year, calendar, as we say, and have a great one. Signing out.